If you're looking to get better audio in your next video using your DSLR, stay tuned. This video is for you. I'm often asked, what is the best method to capture some good audio inside video? Well, I believe there are three ways to make this happen. To begin with, most cameras have a built-in microphone, and it's really not that bad, but it's not the best microphone if you've ever used it. And it typically picks up on wind and some ambient sound, and a lot of people try to work with these types of microphones by putting little covers on them, and sometimes that helps. Now, it is the most convenient method, though, in my opinion. Another way to make this happen is with an external microphone, like this one right here. Now, this is the Zoom H1. I did a video on this microphone a while back, and it's worked great ever since. Now, the big advantage to using a microphone like this is the quality, regardless of which way I'm facing the camera. So, for example, the audio now sounds great, and this is what I'm using on this portion of the video. So if I turn away from the camera, you still hear me as if I'm facing the camera. And that's one of the biggest benefits to this type of microphone. Now, the greatest challenge to it is syncing the audio with the video. But if you have a good package, something like Adobe Premiere, it's really not that difficult. Now, the third method is using a microphone like this. This is a shotgun mic. This particular mic is made by Comica. It is the V30 model. I'll post a link in the description below as to where you can get this from. But this particular mic is under 50 bucks, which really isn't bad when you compare it to the Rode shotgun mics, which is like double the cost. Now, is this a Rode? No. Does it have the same quality? No. Does it do the trick though? Yes. Now, what makes this nice is this is far better than most built-in mics without question. This mic leverages the external mic port on your DSLR. Now, this camera right here is the Nikon D3200, which is considered an entry-level camera. A lot of recent videos I shot, I've used the Nikon D3400. So why am I not using the D3400? Because Nikon removed the external mic port. And I think it kind of stinks, and that's probably the one downside to the D3400 if you want to shoot with external mic or sound. Now, the D3300 has it in, but I have access to the D3200, and that's the reason why I'm using it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to step through just a quick test. And what I'm going to do in this test is I'm going to break out the audio using the built-in microphone on the camera that I'm using for this video, which is the Sony a5100. I'm going to step aside and use the audio in this Zoom H1 in this cheap lavaliere mic that I've got on. And then I'm going to show the sound, or we'll display the sound or listen to the sound coming from this Comica V30 model. Now, before I get into it, let me just cover something really quick on the shotgun mic. This particular shotgun mic is very similar to most of those that you find on the market today. And what I mean by that is this. This red piece right here is really just a shock mount. Most shotgun mics have this. Why? Because it is meant so that the mic itself does not get banged around when the camera's moving. So it tries to suspend it. And that really isolates the sound coming in, and it makes for a much better, richer sound. The other thing about these types of mics right here, and I'm going to turn this around and see if we can see this a little better, but on the backs of these mics, you'll see usually two switches. This right here is just an on-off switch, but it also has a single setting to increase the decibels by 10. Now, this is kind of nice if you want to amplify that sound. However, you will also amplify all the ambient sound, so I typically don't use this. And the switch right on top is just a low-pass filter cut. So these two features right here you'll typically find are most shotgun mics that are out there. One other notable about this particular mic is that this mic also comes with a dead cat or a windscreen. Let me show you what that looks like. Here it is right here. So it kind of looks funny if you're not familiar with these, but this simply slips over the microphone right here, and this current cover just comes right off. So this is really nice if it's windy outside, and you can see all the fabric that's on this right here, and it's meant to help deaden that sound. So with all that said, let's go ahead and just kind of jump right into some testing. To start this test, I'm going to leverage the built-in microphone on the Sony a5100. Now, as mentioned before, it doesn't really matter the camera because I feel that a lot of built-in mics are roughly the same. Now, as I switch over to using the Zoom H1 and the lavaliere mic, you should be able to hear a noticeable difference. Outside, it's not super windy right now, but there is a slight breeze blowing in. And again, this lavaliere mic with the Zoom H1 makes it very, very nice if I turn around. So that's what this is all about. Now, I'm going to switch over to the shotgun mic that we just showed, and again, it's sitting up right next to this camera, and we'll hear the audio on it. Now, this particular shotgun mic, what makes it nice is it does have a dB gain feature on it of 10 decibels. I do not have that enabled right now. I don't feel it's quite necessary, and I'm about 3 to 4 feet away from the camera and the microphones. A few final thoughts on sound. Now, I went in and I processed everything, so I got to watch and listen to what you just saw before giving these thoughts. Now, I was pleasantly surprised with that built-in microphone sound from the Sony A5100. And keeping in mind, this video is not about critiquing the sound specific to the Sony A5100. It's the concept of using built-in mics. Now, my preference is to use the Zoom H1 and this lapel mic. Now, this lapel mic is relatively cheap, and it's something I've been using for the last couple of years, but for good reason, because it works and it sounds good in my opinion. Now, that takes me to the shotgun mic. If I had the choice between the shotgun mic and the built-in mic, more often than not, I'm probably going to use the shotgun mic. Now, this really excels when the weather conditions are relatively adverse, meaning we have more wind and that type of thing. Now, I showed you the windsock that goes over this, and that really comes into play and helps out. And we didn't have a lot of wind, and that's the reason why I think the built-in mic on the camera did such a good job. So it's just something to think about. One other notable is that these types of mics right here typically take batteries, and this is no exception. This takes 2 AAA batteries right in the rear compartment here. Now, these batteries seem to last a very long time. I've had no issues with them. So again, I'm going to post a link below in the description as to where you can pick up this shotgun mic here if you're interested, and I'll also post a link as to where you can get the Zoom H1, and if I can find a link on this cheap lapel mic, I'll post that as well. Now, keeping in mind, I haven't forgotten to post some other videos about Lightroom and my techniques and what I do within that. So I hope this video has helped you out, and if it has, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. More often than not, I post videos about photography and technology, but you never know. So until the next video, take care of yourself and be safe.